This is Eagle Al, and today I will be talking about CJ Gardner Johnson. Are we rent free in his head? And also, I want to talk about Brenton Covey. Yes, it looked like he will be elevated. And lastly, DAndre Swift. Is he going to be a wide receiver slash running back? But let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into it, let's talk about our former guy, CJ Gardner Johnson, who actually has a game today. Right? So we're just rent free in his head. So the Detroit press put out an interview between him and an interviewer, and they was talking about the Eagles, like, yo, what happened with the contract? So basically what this is saying, so I'm gonna go ahead and just read it verbatim. Say former Eagles safety CJ Garner Johnson, who signed with the Lions this offseason, says the Eagles never even gave him an offer to stay with the team. We all know that's false because remember, his agent put out a tweet like, which offer would you take? And it was the Eagles offer and the Detroit Lions offer. So we know that is false. So he said, I got the Eagles front office telling me they're not going to pay me, and I am not trying to think about money. I just want a ball. Oh, that's absolutely false because if you just wanted the ball and you had the best opportunity to win, no offense to the Lions, but the Eagles would have been his best chance to win. So I guess he's putting out a rumor that he probably knows somebody in the Eagles front office saying like, look, they're not going to pay you, but we offered him a contract. Is it rent free a little bit? Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to be living rent free in his head because, again, this is just false. His agency put out the offer the Eagles gave him. Howie Roseman said he gave him an offer. Like, I don't know what CJ Gardner Johnson's talking about. But I'm getting to the point where I'm happy we let him go because he's seen like a cancer in the locker room. There's always drama with him, there's always something with him. So enjoy your time in Detroit. You picked Detroit over Philadelphia. It is what it is. We're moving on. Literally, the season starts today, and you play today, and you're talking about the Eagles. Where about what Detroit is going to do? I have a theory that we're going to meet y'all in the playoffs in the NFC Championship game. That's my dark horse. It's the Lions and the Eagles, and we're going to bump y'all off. And you get to rematch there. But right now, we're about Kansas City and hopefully y'all win. Best of luck to y'all, whatever. But at some point, this is rent free because again, put the tweet right here. His agency said that would you take this offer or that offer? Everybody knew the alternative offer was from the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so let's talk about Brenton Covey. So it looked like the Eagles are going to bring up Brenton Covey from the practice squad, elevate him to start as punt returner. Again, in my last video earlier today, I said I understand why the Eagles like Brenton Covey, but he's just not explosive to me, in my opinion. You should bring up Devin Allen. I would rather you stick with Zacchaeus. With Covey, he's very safe, meaning it's not going to fumble, he's not going to turn it over, he's going to give you 9 or 10 yards. Now, personally believe the Eagles are satisfied with that. It's nothing like getting points from the special teams. I won't call it easy points, but your offense could rest a little longer. I just don't see Brenton Covey breaking the game wide open. Maybe he shows something different this season, but when I think of Devin Allen, he could break a game wide open. He could give your team good field position. I just don't see that in Covey. Zacchaeus look okay with punt returns. It looked like he could break 1 or 2. Quez Watkins is fast, but he's not a good returner. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up the depth chart for as returners. So in practice, this is how the depth chart was based. So they had Brenton Covey first, Quez Watkins second, Greg Ward third, and Zacchaeus fourth. I don't agree with that. I think Zacchaeus should be second. I'll say Quez Watkins third and Greg Ward fourth. But I don't agree with that order, to be honest. And again, I see why the Eagles like Covey, but Eagles always took pride in their special teams. I really don't know why we don't take pride in it no more. The Sproles, with the Deshaun Jacksons, with the Brian Westbrooks, they go on and on and on. It's just recent history. We just don't take pride in it. It's like we don't care about good field position. cool, we got an explosive offense that could go up and down the field on you. We got a defense that could stop, but it's nothing like getting some extra from our special teams. Our special teams been mediocre, and I can't really even put it all on Nick Sirianni because even a little before him, like towards the end of the Doug Peterson era, that was our special teams, man. We just simply don't take pride in it. I think the last guy to return, I believe, a touchdown from special teams was Jalen Rager, and that was a meaningless game. That's when Carson Wentz was still here, and it was against the Green Bay Packers. He fumbled it a bit, picked it up, and ran it for a touchdown. Like, other than that, no explosiveness. That's why I always thought, like, well, if Jalen Rager don't work out as a receiver, just have him do strictly special teams. But you're not gonna have a first round pick just do kick returns and punt returns. But it felt like that's what he was made to be. Not as no third, not as no second, definitely not as a team first. He was meant to be a special teams guy, and they should have just kept him there. But again, for some reason, the Eagles just don't take pride in the special teams. All right, and lastly, let's talk about DAndre Swift, man. DAndre Swift. I'm gonna go ahead and play the drill right here. So this was the wide receiver drill, and I'm like, okay, I see the receivers, but as you continue to watch this video, you will see DAndre Swift doing drills with the wide receivers. And a lot of people somewhat got mad at me when I said this, but I think I think DAndre Swift is going to be a running back that get in passing situations, and he's going to split out wide. DAndre Swift is so good as a receiver running back that he could have been a really good slot receiver in the NFL. Sometimes I see him play. I think he picked the wrong position to play as running back. That's how good of a pass catcher he is. I believe Gainwell's the better running back, but DAndre Swift is definitely the better pass receiver running back. So it's interesting that they have him doing drills with the wide receivers. I think they're going to implement him as a slot from time to time. And then even when you look at the depth chart, yeah, we're going to bring up Covey, but is Covey technically a wide receiver? Not really. I think they look at DAndre Swift as another wide receiver. People be saying, like, why we only got 4 running backs? Why we only got 4 running backs? I think the Eagles really look at DAndre Swift like he's another wide receiver. I think they look at him like he's behind Zacchaeus, like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, or however you want to switch that up. Then you have Quez Watkins, Zacchaeus, and they look at DAndre Swift as another wide receiver. Hell, they treating him like one. He's not doing drills with the running backs really at all. If not at all, he's doing drills with the wide receiver. So, yeah, man, it's going to be very interesting how they use him. And it looked like Brian Johnson, he got some tricks up his sleeve. We already know he had Gainwell throwing passes. I believe he's going to have DAndre Swift splitting out wide. And don't sleep on Gainwell route running. Watch his college tape. Don't sleep on his route running either. So our passing game is going to be very, very dangerous. So don't be surprised if this be the season. I believe last season could have been the season, but don't be surprised if it's this season where Jalen Hurts going over 4,000 yards, especially if he can stay healthy. And majority of the games, I believe we're going to play the full game. Got to think games like Tennessee, games like Pittsburgh, the Giants game, like Jalen Hurts didn't have to play the full game of those games. So again, I think the games are going to be more competitive, whereas though Jalen Hurts can reach certain goals like 4,000 yards, a lot of passing touchdowns. I think we're going to pass it a little bit more in the goal line. I don't think we get away from the rugby scrub, but we're going to pass it a little more because then we got DAndre Swift, who is dangerous, Gainwell, who is dangerous. That was a liability with Miles Sanders last year. So, yeah, man, I think they're going to use DAndre Swift as a pass catcher a lot and a lot on third downs. But, hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? Hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe. But this is Eagle Pound. I'm up.